Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com. In this video, we're looking at a new watch from Oris with the Big Crown ProPilot Bronze. So in this video and on this channel, we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as a full authorized dealer. So in this video, full deep dive review of this timepiece, final points of consideration at the end. But if you want to learn more throughout this video, check out the link in the description down below to the product page, where you can also purchase the watch and book a time with one of our dedicated watch specialists as well. But guys, let's jump into the video, take a closer look at this watch. When analyzing the different collections from Oris, one that's probably not as quick to come to mind like that of the Oris Aquis or the Oris Diver 65 is going to be the Big Crown family, mostly with the ProPilot models. Now today we're going to be looking at this pilot style watch, this coming in a bronze configuration of case material that is very often used by the brand Oris, but less frequently used by this model family. So let's take a closer look. Now first, looking at the ProPilot Bronze on the wrist, we have a set of dimensions that are familiar for this model family. 41 millimeters across, 12.4 millimeters with the case thickness, and a distance of 49 millimeters from the lug to lug point. With this bronze version, Oris stuck with their signature ProPilot case design that I feel really brings cohesion to the entire ProPilot collection, and here is executed at the high level that one would associate with this model family. It wears pretty true to its size, if not slightly smaller, so a 40.5 to 41 millimeter case is what I feel when strapping this one onto the wrist. It does have its thickness working in its favor, so this is a relatively thinner watch, all things considered, for a pilot watch at about 12.5 millimeters thick, but that lug-to-lug dimension is going to allow this one to wear more towards the full potential capabilities of a 41 millimeter proposed case size. With its simple design language, the case has a refined and modern field watch character to it that of course is going to have the pilot undertones, yet it remains both sporty and casual. Along the right side of the case, we have at the 3 o'clock position a large 7.5 millimeter screw down crown that is also going to be signed, but with that size is going to be easy to engage and operate. It's signed on the top with a polished Oris logo embossed against the frosted surface below, while angular grooves are milled from the crown to help the wearer easily unscrew the crown out of the first position and into the winding position. Extend the crown out to the second position, then you can adjust that large date that's going to be located at that 3 o'clock, and at the farthest pulled out point you then can adjust the time while stopping the second hand in the process, so hacking seconds here. This crown, when fully screwed down, is going to work in tandem with the rest of the case to allow it to have 100 meters of water resistance, so very nice to find from a pilot watch and from a watch that's going to of course kind of cater more to that everyday variety. For the finishing, Oris brushes nearly the entire case with the exception of a couple of places, including the chamfered edges along the bottom of the case and the lugs to enhance the wearability. The angular knurling of the bezel is also polished, but it doesn't immediately appear that way unless you closely inspect it when the light reflects from the surface of the bronze. The crown has the same type of knurling and finish as the bezel, and so does the exterior edge of the case back, harmonizing the overall design. I think this combination of brush with just a couple of polished elements is a great way to kind of put the cherry on top of a watch that is certainly going for more of a tool-oriented approach, also when compounded with the fact that this is going to be of a bronze case material to really allow this one to have flair where is necessary but not to overstep. Now the lugs here are a standard 20 millimeters apart, and installed on the ProPilot Bronze is a padded and stitched olive drab textile strap with a genuine leather underside produced by Ventil, a British company which manufactures eco-friendly textile materials. Now the strap tapers to 16 millimeters, so pretty exaggerated there, and is secured to the wrist with the Oris aircraft-inspired fold-over clasp, which features a special tab that you lift in order to unlock it, just like you would with the seatbelt on an airplane. And I think it's just one of those great representations of Oris kind of looking for a fun point in the details to kind of show their humor as well as just a fun nature in terms of what they go for when designing their pieces. The top of the security clasp is constructed of a matching bronze, while the interior hinges of the clasp are in brushed stainless steel. On the top of the bronze part of the clasp, it is going to have another Oris logo and the word lift lightly engraved to kind of further give into that seatbelt vibe. A small upward turned lip is conventionally placed at the bottom edge of the clasp to easily engage and use. It's a fun design, but also is completely practical and functional, allowing the ProPilot to be very secure to the wrist. Transitioning back to the front of the ProPilot and looking at the dial, at first we are met with a double-domed and treated sapphire crystal which provides a clear view of the matte black dial below. Sticking firmly to the aviator theme of the ProPilot collection, the dial is focused and simply laid out with legibility at the forefront of the design process. Along the outermost edge of the dial, we have a golded printed minute track. At the hour markers, the gold paint is rich, metallic, and glossy, while the printed elements such as the dial lettering and the hash marks are running between the hour markers are going to be printed in the same color but don't exhibit the same level of reflective and glossy properties. The applied white Arabic numerals are constructed from luminous material, and they give the dial some visual depth. Aligned with the crown at the 3 o'clock is a large faceted date window that reveals the black date wheel with contrasted white lettering below. Under the 12 o'clock hour marker is the Oris logo in the gold print, and above the 6 o'clock marker is the text denoting the collection and model of this piece in the same gold lettering. Finally, positioned at the center of the dial, we have a set of matte black hands which seemingly float above the dial surface. They are only visible because of the large single segments of luminous material within the modernized lance-esque hour and minute hands and the luminous tip of the thin sweep second hand. Overall, the lume is good, glowing icy blue consistently across all of the luminous elements. The intensity isn't as strong as some other brands in the price range and seems to fade fairly quickly. However, when faded, the lume still is legible in poor lighting. Turning the ProPilot Bronze over, we have the steel screw-down exhibition case back through which we can see the Swiss-made automatic Oris caliber 751, which is derived from the Sellita SW200. Now, Sellita is the primary supplier for Oris when it comes to third-party source movements and have been for several years. Oris is in that range of mid-market companies where once their production reaches a certain threshold, it's very hard to secure the necessary movements from a provider like ETA in order to continue their operation. So with this being the case, Oris opted to really shift over to the use of Sellita calibers. Now with the SW200, it essentially is the perfect equivalent to that of the ETA 2824 and what is being provided on that end. Just like that, movement's going to offer great reliability, serviceability, pretty utilitarian in terms of the finish here. This one's going to be topped off with that custom red rotor, which is kind of the standard for Oris models, but a lot of reliability, serviceability is going to come with this movement. Same with going to come with the ETA 2824. And in terms of probably the number 2 in the Swiss watchmaking world from a third-party perspective, Sellita has really solidified their name as the second in line. In terms of general operation here, we're looking at 28,800 vibrations per hour or 4 hertz. It is going to feature hacking and hand winding. Hacking stop in the second hand when you pull the crown to the farthest position and has a power reserve of 38 hours. Now for some final points of consideration when looking at this ProPilot Bronze. In terms of just the ProPilot family in general, I find it's probably one of the more underrated offerings from Oris just generally. I think most of the love goes towards the dive watches from the likes of the Aquis or the Diver 65. So many people aren't quick to think about this offering from Oris, even in the same way as the pointer date that has a bit more of a novel concept, at least for the price range of executing a pointer date function under $2,000. When it comes to this watch, this is going more towards that aviation everyday style. And for what it's delivering for the dollar amount, it certainly is one of those points of consideration in the $2,000 range. 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, very legible with the dial, and is just well built with a reliable movement on the inside. Now, when you add bronze to the equation here, this is just going to limit the type of people that are probably going to utilize this. But one thing I have noticed when just inspecting a lot of different bronze watches out there and brands that do it well and don't do it well, Oris is one of the brands that do it well, but typically when they do it, they're showcasing it in their watches that are going to have dive watch capabilities. To find brands that are actually prioritizing offering bronze cases for watches that are going to be more geared towards an everyday style is actually a little bit more seldom seen. So to see something like this with a pilot variety and style, it's a bit more rare. So this is kind of in a light that is not going to necessarily have the same level of competition as something that maybe if it was a dive watch, it seems like every brand in the price category is just throwing their hat in the ring and you really just have to like the design style. Here, of course, I think you have a design style that's going to cater to pretty much anyone that's looking for a kind of do-it-all type of watch. But then you're dealing with, on top of it, a bronze case that I think will make it a little bit more palatable for people out there that are looking in the direction of adding a bronze watch to their collection that maybe are just so fatigued with the many divers that are out there. With that being the case, do I think it's a suitable watch in the $2,000 price range from a bronze perspective? Absolutely. Anything that Oris provides in this range is typically going to stack up well against the competition. This is just another example of exactly that, and doing it a bit differently compared to the many watches that are going to be oversaturating the market from the dive watch perspective using this case material. All right, guys, well, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That really does help out the channel, and I would appreciate that. Also, in addition, if you are in the market for this watch, check it out. It's available on TeddyBaldassarre.com. TeddyBaldassarre.com is a full authorized dealer of all the products we carry, quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support. We also offer a full factory warranty for all the products that we offer, unlike a lot of other places online. So if something goes wrong, you're gonna be covered. In addition to that, we offer price match. If you see one of our watches for cheaper at another authorized dealer, just fill out the form and we'll get in touch with you. And finally, 9 out of every $10 that we generate goes right back in the content that we're creating here, as well as on our main channel. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.